Rin walked slowly through the crowded space market. Ships of every size and shape floated nearby, their engines humming softly. Traders shouted about their wares, offering fuel, weapons, and strange alien artifacts. Rin carried a small datapad in his hand, checking the list of potential buyers for his ship. His ship was old. It's not shiny like the others, but it was strong and reliable. He had spent years traveling between planets, and it had never let him down. Still, every time he tried to show it to a buyer, they turned away. Whispers followed him wherever he went. "Do not touch that ship," some said. Others simply shook their heads and walked away. Rin frowned. He had never had trouble selling ships before. Something about this one made people afraid. He stared at his ship floating above the dock. Its metal hull was scratched, but the engines were intact, and the control panels worked perfectly. He stepped closer. A soft chill brushed against his skin as he climbed the ramp. The air inside the ship felt colder than the market outside. He shivered and looked around. The cabin was empty, but a strange feeling hung in the air, heavy and quiet. He noticed shadows moving along the walls, though there was no light to cast them. Aaron shook his head. "I must be imagining things," he muttered. He walked toward the cockpit, touching the panels to make sure they worked. Everything was fine. The ship hummed under his hands, responding to his touch as if it knew him. Then he heard a soft sound, like breathing, coming from the back of the ship. Rin froze. The sound was slow and steady. He stepped toward the rear chamber. The air grew colder, and the shadows moved faster. He reached the door to the hidden chamber. His heart beat fast. Curiosity pushed him forward. He opened the door slowly. Inside, the chamber was dark, but he could make out a figure. A woman lay on a raised platform. Her skin was pale, almost glowing in the dim light. Her hair was black and fell like a waterfall over her shoulders. Her eyes were closed, but Rin could feel her presence. She was not sleeping like a normal person. She was powerful, ancient, dangerous. Rin stepped back, but he could not stop looking at her. The air around her shimmered, like it carried a life of its own. He felt drawn to her and frightened at the same time. Suddenly, her eyes opened. They were deep, dark, and filled with intelligence. Rin stumbled backward, but she raised her hand slowly, as if asking him not to be afraid. "You are not like the others," she said in a voice that was calm but strong. "Most humans run away when they see me. You stayed." Rin swallowed hard. "I am Rin. I am just trying to sell this ship. I didn't know anyone, or anything. Lived here," she smiled faintly. "I have lived here a long time. Long before humans came to this sector. I am Nira." Rin noticed her eyes glinting in the dim light. There was something about her that felt dangerous, yet he could not look away. He realized this was why buyers avoided the ship. People sensed her power, even without seeing her. "I am not dangerous." "Unless I must be," Nira said. "I have waited for someone like you. Someone brave enough to face the unknown." Rin's mind raced. He had heard stories of alien vampires, beings that lived for centuries and fed on the energy of others. He had never thought he would meet one. "You feed on people?" he asked cautiously. Nira shook her head. "Not like the stories. I feed on energy, but I can control myself. I am not a monster, though some may fear me. Most do." Rin nodded slowly. He felt a mix of fear and fascination. "Why are you here?" he asked. "I hid here because this ship is strong, and it protects me," Nira explained. "I cannot go where others can track me easily. I wait for someone clever, someone human," and blinked. "Human." Nira's eyes softened. "Yes, humans are unusual. You are clever, adaptable, and brave. You do not run from the unknown. That is why I watched you before." Rin stepped closer, curiosity overcoming his fear. He looked at the ship, now understanding why it had been so hard to sell. The ship was not just a ship. It was a home, a fortress, and a secret all at once. "I don't know what to say," Rin admitted. "You do not need to say anything yet," Nira replied. "You only need to see You only need to try. Together, we can make this ship more than just a vessel. It can become something powerful. Rin felt a spark of excitement. The market outside had been dull, filled with traders worried about profit and safety. Here, inside this old ship, he felt alive. Adventure waited, and it was something humans were born to face. He nodded. All right, I will help you. If you help me. I want to know how this ship works, and maybe I can fix it so it flies better than ever. Nira studied him, her gaze sharp and assessing. Then she smiled. You are brave, Rin. Most humans would run screaming. Perhaps you are different. Perhaps you are the one I have waited for. Rin felt his heart race. He knew he had stepped into something dangerous. But for the first time in years, he felt like he had a purpose beyond just selling ships. He felt like he was part of a story bigger than himself. The ship hummed softly, and Rin felt it respond to both of them. He understood something important. This was no ordinary ship. It had power, secrets, and a living history. And now, with Nira awake, the ship's true story was beginning. Rin took a deep breath. Then let's see what this ship can really do, he said. Nira nodded. Yes, but remember, Rin, the universe is vast, and not all who see this ship are friendly. You will need your courage. And your mind. Rin smiled faintly. I have both. Let's start. The market outside faded from his mind. The ship, the alien woman, and the unknown future ahead became his entire world. He felt alive in a way he had never known before. The adventure had begun, and he would face it like a human should, with courage, curiosity, and determination. The hum of the ship was steady, a low vibration that Rin felt through his hands as he explored the control panels. The air smelled faintly metallic, but it carried a strange warmth near the rear chamber where Nira rested. She watched him quietly, her dark eyes following his movements with interest. Rin felt the chill of her presence, a cold that was unlike anything in space. Yet it did not frighten him as much as it intrigued him. I do not know much about this ship, Rin admitted. It is old, and some parts are damaged, but the engines are strong, and the systems are advanced. I think I can make it better. Nira's voice was soft, yet it carried authority. It is not just the ship that is strong. It is the energy it carries. It protects me, and it responds to life. Humans rarely understand this. Rin frowned. Energy? You mean the engines? She shook her head, her long hair moving like water in the dim light. No, I mean the energy of the ship itself. It has memory, awareness. It reacts to those who enter. That is why your kind avoided it. Most cannot sense it, but they feel its presence. They feel me. Rin paused. He had never heard of a ship with awareness. So, it knows you are here. Yes, she replied. And it will respond to you if you learn to connect. You humans are different. You can adapt. You can think in ways that machines and even some aliens cannot. That is why I watch you. Rin's curiosity grew. Watch me, you mean? You have been here before? Nira nodded. Not always in person. I observed your kind from space before you came to this market. I sensed your courage. Most humans avoid danger. You do not. That is rare. Rin felt a strange pride. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy. Aliens believed them weak, careless, or unpredictable. And yet here he was, standing before a centuries-old alien vampire, and he had not run, I suppose. You want something from me? Rin said cautiously. Why show yourself now? Nira smiled faintly. I need a companion, not a servant. Someone clever, resourceful, who can help me. You can help me, and I can help you. Together, we can unlock the ship's full potential. Rin hesitated. Humans had a tendency to overestimate their abilities in space, but he also felt excitement. Adventure had always called him, and here it was, in the form of an alien, a ship. An unknown power. All right, he said finally. I will help, but I need to understand. Teach me. Nira's smile widened. Then I will begin. You must understand me and the ship. Only then will you survive what comes next. She guided him to the rear chamber where the air felt thick, almost alive. Rin noticed that the shadows here moved differently, curling and stretching like liquid. Nira placed her hand on the platform, and the shadows seemed to respond, forming patterns and symbols he did not recognize. "This is the heart of the ship," Nira explained. "It listens, it feels, and it protects. It is attuned to life, not metal or wires. To control it, you must first connect." Rin leaned closer. "How do I do that?" "Close your eyes. Feel the hum, the vibration of the ship. It will speak to you if you listen." Rin hesitated but obeyed. He closed his eyes and placed his hands on the metal platform. At first, he felt nothing except the faint hum of the engines. Then, slowly, he sensed movement, almost like a heartbeat, slow and steady, deep beneath the hull. A warmth spread through his palms, and he realized the ship was aware of him. It was testing him, measuring his intentions. I feel something," Rin said. "It is alive. In a way?" "Yes," Nira whispered, "and it will respond to you if it trusts you. Humans are unusual because you are clever and unpredictable. The ship senses this, and it is intrigued." Rin opened his eyes and looked at her. "So, the ship can be stronger, if I understand it." "Exactly. But understanding takes time. You must learn patience. And you must learn to respect its power. Do not push it too far too fast, or it will resist." Rin nodded. He had spent years fixing ships and machines, but this was unlike anything he had encountered. The idea of a ship that thought and reacted made him nervous. But it also made him excited. For hours, Nira guided him, teaching him how to feel the ship's energy. She explained the symbols that appeared in the shadows, how the ship stored memory, and how it could protect those who knew its ways. Rin practiced listening to the hum, feeling the pulse, and learning to move in harmony with the vessel. As night fell over the space market outside, Rin finally leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. He could sense the ship responding to him, moving slightly as if approving his presence. "You are learning fast," Nira said. "Most humans would give up long before this point." Alwoon smiled faintly. "I have to. If I want to survive in space, I need more than strength. I need to be clever, and I need allies. You are one of those allies, I think." Nira tilted her head, studying him. "Perhaps. But remember, humans are often reckless. Cleverness is not always enough. You must be cautious. There are those who would destroy this ship and me without hesitation." Rin frowned. "Who would do that?" "Pirates, rival traders, and hunters," she replied. "Many seek power they cannot control. Some have sensed me in the past and tried to take me. They failed, but they are persistent." Rin's stomach tightened. He had faced danger before, but this was different. He was no longer just a trader. He was part of something alive, something ancient and powerful. He would need more than courage. He would need wit and careful planning. "I understand," Rin said, "but I also know humans do not give up. We find ways, even when the odds are against us." Nira's eyes glimmered. "That is why I chose to show myself. I need your resourcefulness, your adaptability. Together, we can face what is coming. And if we succeed, this ship will be unstoppable." The hours passed, and Rin and Nira continued their work. Rin repaired small parts of the ship while Nira taught him how to connect with its energy. He learned to feel the vibrations, to sense the ship's moods, and even to anticipate its movements. By morning, Rin felt a bond forming, not just with Nira, but with the ship itself. It was alive, and it recognized him as a friend and an ally. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Rin looked up, startled. Nira's eyes narrowed. "Someone is approaching," she said. Rin's pulse quickened. "Pirates." "Possibly," Nira replied. "Or someone curious. Either way, we must prepare. The ship will protect itself, but we must guide it." Rin moved to the cockpit, his hands steady despite the tension. He felt the ship respond beneath him, the energy flowing like water around his fingers. It waited for him to give commands, ready to obey. Minutes later, a small scout ship appeared outside the docking bay. Rin could see the alien markings on its hull. It hovered, scanning. Rin knew they were looking for the rumored alien vampire that lived in the old ship. "They will try to take me," Nira said quietly. "You must be clever. Humans are unpredictable, and that may save us." Rin nodded. He studied the controls, noting weak points in the docking bay and possible escape routes. His mind raced with ideas. He would use his knowledge of ships, human creativity, and the ship's energy to protect them both. The scout ship fired a warning beam, but Rin was ready. He guided the ship smoothly, using subtle shifts to confuse the attackers. The energy of the ship responded to his commands, twisting and shifting as if alive. Shadows moved along the walls, reflecting the ship's will. Nira watched, impressed. "You are clever, Rin. Most would panic. You do not. That is why humans survive where others fail." Rin grinned slightly, though his heart raced. "We are not finished yet. Let's see what this ship can really do." As the scout ship retreated, Rin felt a surge of confidence. He had proven that even humans, with limited technology, could outsmart more advanced aliens when combined with courage and creativity. Nira nodded beside him, her respect clear in her eyes. For the first time, Rin realized something important. Humans were underestimated in the galaxy, but their ingenuity and determination could make them stronger than anyone expected. With the right allies and the right mindset, even the most powerful enemies could be outsmarted. And with Nira by his side, Rin knew the adventure was just beginning. The stars stretched endlessly outside the cockpit windows, a silent sea of light and darkness. Rin tightened his grip on the controls of the old ship, feeling the hum beneath his hands. It was no longer just a vessel of metal and circuits, it had become something alive. Nira's presence in the rear chamber was like a quiet pulse. Her energy blending with the ship's, Rin could feel her watchful attention on him. Assessing, guiding, but never taking control. "The scout ship has returned," Nira said calmly, her voice echoing slightly through the cabin. Rin glanced at the approaching vessel. Its hull was sleek and dark, bearing the markings of the Syndicate hunters. A group known across several star systems for capturing rare and dangerous beings. "They want you," Rin said, his voice steady. "We need a plan," Nira's eyes glinted. "They have underestimated humans for too long. That is their mistake. We will not fight them like most aliens would expect." Rin nodded. He had learned enough about the ship to know its strengths and weaknesses. He also understood that Nira's energy could amplify the ship's defenses. He just needed to coordinate to use both human ingenuity and alien power together. "Follow my lead," he said. "We will confuse them and escape their scanners." Rin adjusted the ship's controls, initiating a series of subtle but rapid maneuvers. The ship's energy seemed to respond to his thoughts, shifting and twisting the shadows along the walls. It was as if the vessel itself was alive, aware of the threat, and eager to defend itself. The Syndicate ship fired a warning beam. Rin laughed quietly. Too slow. He tilted the old ship, using a hidden vent to create a brief visual distortion. The scout ship's sensors flickered and failed to track them accurately. Nira's voice came from the rear chamber. Calm, but powerful. "Rin, there is a pattern in their movements. They are predictable. You can use it." Rin focused, watching the enemy ship's path. He noticed small delays, the way it adjusted its course with slight hesitation. "Got it," he said. He guided the ship through a series of sharp, unexpected angles. The Syndicate vessel struggled to follow. Rin felt a thrill run through him. The ship responded as if it understood, bending energy around them to create small shields and distortions. "This ship," Nira said softly, "it is responding to you more than I thought. Humans are remarkable. You adapt in ways even I cannot predict." Rin smiled. "Humans have to adapt. It is how we survive." Minutes passed as Rin guided the ship through the chaotic maneuvers. The enemy fire missed by inches. He felt the ship's energy flow around him, protecting them, warning him of danger before he saw it. It was an exhilarating experience unlike anything he had faced before. Finally, Rin found an opening. A small asteroid field stretched ahead, dense but navigable for someone familiar with the stars. Hold on, he said to Nira. We are going in. The ship weaved between asteroids, its hull scraping lightly against rocks, but sustaining no serious damage. The Syndicate ship followed, but it was slower, less agile. Rin guided them through a narrow passage, and then, using a combination of gravity pulls and energy shifts, he made the Syndicate vessel crash into a rock. Disabling its engines, Nira's eyes gleamed with approval. Clever, she said. You are a true human. You think in ways no other species would dare. Rin exhaled, relieved but alert. We are not safe yet. There will be more, stronger, faster. This was just a test, Nira nodded. Then we will prepare. Together, we are stronger than they expect. And they will always underestimate humans. Rin spent the next few hours repairing minor damage, while Nira taught him more about the ship's energy. He learned to sense changes in the ship's pulse, to anticipate shifts before they happened. He also learned that Nira's energy could amplify the ship's defenses, but only if he guided it carefully. You must trust the ship, Nira explained, and the ship must trust you. Only then can its full power be unlocked. Rin frowned. Trust. How can a machine trust me? Nira's eyes softened. It is not just a machine. It is alive. It responds to thought, to intention. If you are clever, patient, and brave, it will listen. Most humans are too impatient or reckless to achieve this. Rin nodded. He felt a deep connection forming, not just with Nira, but with the ship itself. It was as if the vessel recognized him as a partner, not a master, and that gave him strength he had never felt before. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up another signal, stronger and more organized than before. Rin frowned. Another ship, bigger, and it's not alone. Nira's eyes narrowed. They have found us. The Syndicate does not give up easily. This is not a scout. It is a hunting party. We must prepare for a direct attack. Rin's mind raced. He had never faced a threat like this before. But he also knew humans had an advantage, creativity. He quickly devised a plan. He would use the ship's energy to create distortions and illusions, making them appear larger, smaller, or in different locations. Nira's energy could amplify the effect, confusing the enemy. We will fight smart, not hard, Rin said. We will make them think we are somewhere we are not. Nira smiled faintly. I like this. You are brave and clever. This combination is rare. It may be enough. As the enemy fleet approached, Rin and Nira worked in perfect harmony. Rin guided the ship through a series of energy pulses, creating visual distortions that scattered the sensors of the attackers. Shadows moved along the walls, twisting and shifting, creating the illusion of multiple ships. The enemy fleet fired at empty space, their attacks missing again and again. This is working, Rin said, his heart pounding. They cannot see us clearly. Nira's voice was calm and steady. Do not underestimate them. They will adapt. You must anticipate their moves as you did with the scout. Rin nodded, focusing on the patterns of the fleet. He noticed a small gap between two enemy vessels. There, he said, we can slip through. The ship responded instantly, twisting and shifting with the energy of Nira guiding it. They passed between the enemy ships, narrowly avoiding collisions, and escaped into an uncharted region of space. The enemy fleet fired behind them, but Rin's human ingenuity and Nira's alien power kept them safe. Finally, they came to a stop near a small, dark planet. Rin exhaled, exhausted but exhilarated. We made it, he said. We actually made it. Nira's eyes softened. You are impressive, Rin. Most humans would panic in the face of such odds. You think, adapt and survive. That is why I watch your kind. You are not just clever, you are fearless when it matters most. Rin smiled faintly. We are not finished yet. This was just the first challenge. I know there will be more, Nira nodded. Yes, and next time, the danger will be greater. But you are ready. And together, we can face it. For the first time, Rin felt truly confident in his abilities. He was a human, clever and resourceful, capable of surviving against enemies far stronger and faster. And with Nira by his side guiding him and sharing her power, He knew they could take on anything the galaxy could throw at them. He looked at the stars beyond the cockpit, feeling a sense of purpose he had never known. The old ship, once unwanted, was now a fortress and a home. And he, Rin, was no longer just a trader. He was part of something greater, something alive and powerful, something that could not be ignored. Nira joined him at the controls, placing her hand lightly on the panel. The shadows of the ship danced around them, responding to their combined will. Rin felt the bond between them. Human ingenuity and alien power working together. This is only the beginning, Nira said quietly. The universe is vast, and there are those who would seek to destroy or control us. But they will underestimate humans, and that will be their greatest mistake. Rin nodded, determination shining in his eyes. Then let them underestimate us. We will prove them wrong every time. The ship hummed beneath them, alive and aware, ready for the next adventure. And Rin knew that, with courage, cleverness, and a powerful ally by his side, humanity could face any challenge. No matter how dangerous or impossible it seemed, the stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of danger and opportunity. Rin and Nira were ready, together, to meet it all. The small planet they had taken refuge near seemed quiet. A dark blue and gray sphere drifting through the endless black of space. Rin had spent the last hours studying the ship's systems, repairing minor damage from their escape. And learning more from Nira, she had guided him in using the ship's energy to its fullest. But she had also reminded him that power alone would not be enough. Cleverness, timing, and human intuition were just as important. Rin, Nira said, her voice calm but serious. We are not safe here. The Syndicate fleet that tried to capture me was only a scout. The real threat is coming. A warlord has sensed my presence. He is stronger and more cunning than any humans have faced in this sector. Rin's heart raced. He had faced danger before, but this was different. He was no longer dealing with a single enemy. He was facing someone who could control fleets, who had hunted alien species for centuries, and who would stop at nothing to capture Nira. We cannot run, Rin said firmly. We survived before by thinking, not by hiding. We will face him the same way. Nira's eyes gleamed. Good. That is why I chose you, Rin. Humans do not panic. You see solutions where others see only fear. That will be our greatest strength. The sensors of the ship picked up movement on the outskirts of the system. A massive warship appeared, its hull bristling with weapons and energy fields. Behind it, smaller ships formed a crescent, ready to flank them. Rin studied the formation carefully. He could see the pattern in their movements, their predictable strategy. They expect to fight like all others, Rin said, but we will give them something different. Nira smiled faintly. Tell me your plan, Rin began to explain, using the ship's energy in a new way. He would create decoys, illusions, and shadows to confuse the enemy. He would use the asteroid field nearby to hide their movements. And, most importantly, he would rely on the unpredictable creativity of a human mind to anticipate every move the warlord's fleet made. The ship hummed beneath them as Rin connected with it. Feeling its energy pulse and respond to his commands, shadows moved along the walls, bending into shapes that mimicked the ship's movements. Nira placed her hands on the control panel with him, adding her energy to his commands. Together, they became a single unit, human ingenuity guiding alien power. The warlord's fleet opened fire. Beams of energy cut through space toward them. Rin adjusted the ship's shields, diverting power to the areas most likely to be hit. The ship's energy seemed to anticipate each strike, forming barriers and creating temporary clones of the vessel to confuse the enemy sensors. They cannot see us clearly, Rin said. They think there are multiple ships. That is our advantage. Nira's voice was calm and commanding. Yes, but we must not delay. He will adapt. Use your mind, Rin, not just the ship. Rin smiled faintly, determination hardening in his chest. He guided the ship through the asteroid field, weaving between rocks, shifting the energy around them to create sudden bursts of light and shadow. The enemy fleet fired repeatedly, but every attack missed, striking only empty space. Your humans are clever, Nira said, almost in admiration. I did not expect this level of resourcefulness. Rin laughed quietly. We survive by thinking, not just fighting. That is how humans have thrived for centuries. Adaptation is our weapon. Minutes passed, and the enemy seemed to be closing in. Rin noticed a small gap in their formation. There, he said. We can strike there and escape. He guided the ship in a sudden dive, using the energy to create a burst of light and shadow that made them appear to vanish. The warlord's fleet faltered, unsure where they had gone. Rin adjusted the controls again, moving through the shadows like water, slipping past the enemy with precision. Finally, they emerged on the far side of the asteroid field. Rin exhaled, but he knew the fight was not over. The warlord's fleet would regroup. They would come again. We have survived this attack, Rin said. But it was only a test. The real challenge is still ahead. Nira's eyes narrowed. Yes, he will not stop. But you have proven yourself. You are clever, resourceful, and brave. That is why humans endure. That is why I trust you. Rin felt a surge of pride. Humans were often underestimated. Aliens believed they were fragile, reckless, or too slow to survive the galaxy's dangers. And yet here he was, facing a warlord with far superior technology and forces and using only his mind. The ship and Nira's power to stay alive. I will not fail, Rin said firmly. We will survive, and we will show them what humans can do. Nira's voice softened. I believe you. And together, we are stronger than they imagine. But remember, Rin, this is only the beginning. The warlord is patient and cunning. He will test every limit. You must be ready for everything. Rin studied the stars ahead. Beyond the asteroid field, there were uncharted regions, empty space where they could hide, but also unknown dangers. He knew they could not run forever. They would have to face the warlord directly if they wanted true freedom. I am ready, Rin said. I will think, plan, and adapt. That is how humans survive. That is how we win, Nira nodded. Good. Then we will prepare. You must learn more about the ship's energy. And I will teach you how to use my power in ways that amplify your human ingenuity. Together, we can face the warlord and his fleet. Over the next hours, Rin worked tirelessly. He repaired damage, tested the ship's systems, and experimented with new ways to use its energy. Nira guided him, explaining how to channel her power through the ship to create illusions, shields, and even minor attacks. Rin learned quickly, his human mind absorbing strategies, anticipating outcomes, and adapting plans faster than most aliens could comprehend. By nightfall, Rin was ready. The ship gleamed under the faint light of the nearby star, alive with energy and anticipation. Shadows moved along the walls, forming shapes that hinted at power far greater than the ship's appearance suggested. Nira joined him in the cockpit, placing her hand lightly on his shoulder. You are ready, Rin. The warlord will come, and he will think he can overpower us. But he will not understand humans. He will not anticipate creativity, courage, and adaptability. That is our greatest weapon. Rin smiled, feeling the weight of responsibility and excitement. He had faced danger before, but never like this. Never had survival depended so much on his mind, his instincts, and the bond he had formed with a living ship and an ancient alien. I understand, Rin said. We will face him together, and we will prove that humans are not weak. We are clever, adaptable, and fearless when it counts. Nira's eyes glimmered with admiration. Yes, that is why I chose you. Most humans would panic. Most humans would fail. But you see the possibilities where others see only danger. That is why humans endure and why you will survive. As the night deepened, the sensors detected the warlord's fleet approaching once more. Rin adjusted the ship's energy, preparing illusions and defenses, while Nira amplified the power around them. They moved as one, human ingenuity and alien energy working in perfect harmony. The first wave of the attack hit, but Rin's strategies worked flawlessly. The fleet was confused, their weapons missing, their formation disrupted. Rin guided the ship through the chaos, anticipating every move, and using the ship's living energy to protect them. "This is incredible," Nira whispered. "Humans, you truly are remarkable." Rin smiled faintly, determination burning in his eyes. "We are just getting started. The warlord does not know what humans are capable of." Hours passed, and the battle continued. Rin and Nira worked tirelessly, using every trick, every bit of ingenuity, every ounce of courage they had. The warlord's fleet was powerful, but it was predictable, and Rin's human mind was faster, more adaptable. Finally, as the warlord's ships began to retreat, Rin felt a surge of triumph. They had survived the first true test, not just by strength, but by intelligence, adaptability, and courage. The bond between him, Nira, and the ship had grown stronger, a combination that no enemy could easily overcome. Nira placed her hand on Rin's shoulder. "You have done well. Most humans would have failed, but you have proven why your kind endures. Cleverness, courage, and determination, these are the true weapons of humans." Rin exhaled, exhausted, but exhilarated. "We survived, and we will survive again. Nothing can stop us if we think, adapt, and work together." The ship hummed beneath them, alive and aware, a living fortress, guided by human ingenuity and alien power. Rin knew that the warlord would return, stronger and more cunning. But he also knew something else. Humans were underestimated. And that underestimation would be their greatest advantage. As the stars stretched endlessly ahead, Rin and Nira prepared for the challenges to come. They were ready to face the warlord, ready to prove that human courage and intelligence could overcome even the most powerful enemies in the galaxy. The true test had come, and humanity had triumphed through mind, skill, and unwavering determination. The stars stretched endlessly, a river of light and darkness flowing through the void. Rin gripped the controls of the ship, feeling its living energy pulse beneath his hands. Nira sat beside him, her dark eyes calm but alert, ready to lend her power to whatever came next. "They are coming," Rin said, reading the ship's sensors. "The warlord's fleet is back. Bigger, faster, stronger. This is it, Nira. The final test." Nira's lips curved into a faint smile. "I have faith in you, Rin. The humans are clever, but you have proven yourself beyond most expectations. Now we must show them what ingenuity and courage can do." Rin's heart pounded. This was the moment he had prepared for. The warlord had underestimated them once, and now he would learn the cost of underestimating humans. The ship hummed in anticipation, alive with energy, ready to respond to their combined will. The fleet appeared in the distance, massive and imposing. The warlord's command ship led the formation, bristling with weapons and energy shields. The smaller vessels followed in precise patterns, designed to overwhelm any opponent. Rin studied the fleet carefully. He saw the patterns, the timing, and the weaknesses. Human minds thrived on unpredictability, and he would use that to their advantage. "We need a strategy that they will not expect," Rin said. "Something smart, creative, and bold. Something humans do best," Nira nodded. "You will lead, Rin. I will amplify the ship's energy, protect us, and create the illusions. But the plan must come from you. The humans have the edge in creativity. That is why I chose you." Rin's mind raced. He considered the asteroid field nearby, the ship's living energy, and Nira's abilities. He devised a plan that combined all three. They would divide the fleet's attention, use illusions to confuse sensors, and lure the warlord into a trap where human ingenuity could outsmart brute force. "All right," Rin said, determination shining in his eyes. "Let's begin." The ship surged forward, its engines thrumming as it sliced through space. Rin guided it toward the asteroid field, weaving expertly between massive rocks. The warlord's fleet followed, firing continuously, but Rin used the ship's energy to create shifting shields and decoys. Shadows danced across the walls, forming multiple images of the ship, making it impossible for the enemy to know which one was real. "This is working," Rin whispered, excitement building. "They cannot see us clearly." Nira's hands moved over the controls beside him, channeling her energy to amplify the effects. "Good," she said. "Keep their attention scattered. They will tire of chasing illusions and make mistakes. Humans are patient and clever. That is why they survive. Rin grinned faintly. Then let's test that theory. He guided the ship through a sudden, unexpected maneuver, diving between two massive asteroids while creating a burst of energy that appeared to be multiple ships exploding in space. The warlord's fleet faltered, confused by the sudden chaos. Energy beams missed the ship entirely, striking empty space. Rin felt a thrill run through him. They had taken the advantage now, Rin said. We hit the weak point. He had observed the warlord's command ship and noticed a pattern. Its energy shields were strong, but there were brief intervals when they reset after firing weapons. Rin would use these moments to strike, targeting the ship's engines with precision. Nira's voice was calm and strong. Timing is crucial. You must act now, Rin. With perfect coordination, Rin guided the ship closer. The living energy responded instantly, bending shadows and light to shield them while amplifying Nira's power. Rin aimed and fired a precise burst of energy from the ship's forward cannons. Hitting the warlord's engines at the exact moment the shields reset. The enemy command ship shuddered, sparks flying across its hull. The smaller vessels hesitated, unsure of how to respond to the sudden vulnerability. Rin's strategy was working. The warlord had been outsmarted, not overpowered. Nira's eyes glimmered with admiration. You are exceptional, Rin. Human minds are capable of brilliance when faced with impossible odds. Rin smiled, but he remained focused. We're not done yet. We need to finish this. The warlord tried to recover, firing weapons in all directions. Rin guided the ship with precision, using energy pulses to deflect attacks and create further illusions. The smaller vessels became trapped in their own confusion, colliding with each other or retreating in fear. Nira added her power, amplifying the ship's defensive energy. Shadows formed intricate patterns around them, creating the illusion of multiple ships moving in perfect harmony. The warlord's fleet could not keep up. They had underestimated human creativity and adaptability, and now they were paying the price. RN seized the opportunity. He aimed a series of energy bursts at the warlord's ship, targeting weak points in critical systems. Each shot was precise, calculated, and timed perfectly with the ship's energy pulses. The command ship's shields faltered, engines sputtered, and weapon systems failed one by one. This is it, Rin said, determination burning in his chest. We end this now. He guided the ship in a final, daring maneuver, diving through the enemy formation and striking the command ship directly. The energy of the ship and Nira's power combined in a spectacular display, disabling the warlord's vessel completely. The smaller ships scattered in disarray, retreating into space. Rin exhaled, his hands shaking with exhilaration and relief. We did it, he whispered. We actually did it. Nira's dark eyes softened. You have proven yourself, Rin, not just as a human, but as a strategist, a leader, and a partner. Humans are clever, resilient, and fearless when it counts. That is why your kind survives. Rin smiled faintly, exhausted but proud. We survived because we worked together. You and I, and this ship, we combined our strengths and outsmarted an enemy that was stronger in every way. The ship hummed beneath them, alive and aware, its energy settling into a steady rhythm. Rin felt the bond between them, human ingenuity and alien power working together in harmony. They had faced impossible odds and triumphed. Nira placed her hand on Rin's shoulder. The warlord will not forget this defeat. But now he knows that humans are not to be underestimated. You have changed the balance. And this ship, it will become legendary, guided by both human and alien strength. Rin nodded, feeling a sense of accomplishment he had never known. He had started as a simple trader, trying to sell an old spaceship, and now he had become part of a living legend. He had proven that, even against overwhelming power, humans could survive and thrive through cleverness, courage, and determination. What do we do now? Rin asked. Nira smiled, her dark eyes glinting with excitement. We explore, Rin. There is much in the galaxy that humans have never seen. We will uncover secrets, face challenges, and prove time and again that ingenuity, courage, and partnership can overcome even the most impossible odds. Rin felt a thrill of excitement. The universe was vast, filled with danger, mystery, and opportunity. He had the ship Nira and the knowledge that human intelligence could change the course of events in ways even powerful aliens could not anticipate. "We set course," Rin said, "to discover what no one else has dared to see." The ship responded instantly, its living energy pulsing with anticipation. Shadows danced along the walls, bending and twisting as if eager for the adventure ahead. Rin and Nira moved together, guiding the vessel through the stars, ready for whatever lay beyond the horizon. As they left the warlord's system behind, Rin reflected on what had happened. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy, dismissed as fragile, reckless, or primitive. But he had seen the truth. Humans were clever, adaptable, and courageous. Their ability to think creatively under pressure, to adapt and improvise, was their greatest strength. Nira's presence beside him reinforced the truth. Alien power and human ingenuity combined created something unstoppable. Together, they had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. And the galaxy would remember this. A human mind, working with an ancient alien, could outsmart even the most powerful forces in space. Arn gazed out at the stars, determination burning in his eyes. "We will continue," he said quietly. "We will face the unknown, and we will survive. Humanity will never be underestimated again." Nira nodded, placing her hand over his. "Yes, Rin, this is only the beginning. The universe is vast, and together we will explore it, challenge it, and change it. The legend of this ship, of humans, and of courage will spread across the stars." The living ship hummed around them, shadows moving like waves, alive with power and anticipation. Rin felt the connection between himself, Nira, and the vessel. They were a team, a living force, and nothing could stop them when human ingenuity and courage guided alien power. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, filled with danger, mystery, and opportunity. Rin and Nira, human and alien, cleverness and power, were ready. Together, they would face the galaxy, proving that humanity could rise above fear, exceed expectations, and survive where others would fail. The adventure had only just begun. And Rin knew one thing for certain: the universe would never underestimate humans again.